Hey, what's up? So if I was to give this out of 5, I would give this a 2.7 out of 5. It's still a Netflix original animated movie, but there's something about it. There's something actually that works about it. So what's the story? You have Ken Sato. Ken Sato is a superhero called Ultraman. He can transform from his normal form into this huge super being. I don't know what to call him because he's a superhero, but then he's not your ordinary superhero because he's more like, think Pacific Rim. Think a huge character who can actually fight these monsters, kaijus. We live in a universe where there are a lot of kaijus, and so he can transform and become a big creature who can also fight kaijus. So during one of his missions, his work, he comes across, I don't want to spoil it for people, he comes across this small egg, and then the egg hatches, and then the egg is a baby kaiju, and so he has to try to take care and mold this creature because the villain also wants this baby kaiju because he wants to do something. He wants the baby kaiju to lead him somewhere because of something that happened to something else. So eventually things get interesting, and then you have what I actually enjoyed about this movie, which is a very interesting third act in terms of action because they take it somewhere that you don't expect. They trick you into thinking that they are going in a certain way. Think Godzilla versus Kong, yes. Think of something that happened in Godzilla versus Kong, but then they subvert and change it. So the villain takes his true form. And after he does that, that's where for me, I was like, yes, now this is interesting. But then again, if now I was to just give you an idea of what the movie is, it's a father and son story. It dwells around the concept of family a lot and how fathers are affected. The villain story is inspired by that. The protagonist character is inspired by that. He even has a relationship with the father. So it pays a lot of respect to that. And then we get to follow Ken Sato, who is a baseball player, trying to live with this giant baby, trying to exist. For the major part of the second act, the middle of the movie, we follow him and the giant kaiju baby. And so with the technical stuff, it's 3D animated, and they try to do that Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse thing, but in this time it's a bit restricted. It's not a lot, and it's used conveniently to actually elevate scenes. Like for example, if there's an action set piece, they will sometimes dive to black and white and then dive back to color. And then when something that is high octane is happening, they'll have a lot of colorful lines, which just gives it a general beautiful aesthetic. The third act, this is where now I fell in love with the show. It goes full black and white, and then you have I don't want to spoil it for you. You have Ultraman, the red color still remaining red. So you have it aesthetically looks good. It looks beautiful, especially if you're into design, if you're into coloring, if you're into, if you are into all things anime, then there are some things that actually look really well. Now, if there's something that I did not like, this is a Netflix show, so there's a lot of emphasis on a few things, and you'll note that there are some things that cut across all Netflix show, and they're here. This is more of, they're trying to do a lot because there's a sports angle, there's the child's angle, there's the fatherhood angle, and there's a particular island angle. So they're like the story follows 4 things at the same time, but they are stitched in together so well that you don't actually feel that major of a difference. So as much as, yes, they stitched them together, I thought that they had too many things going at the same time. That's why it has a 2-hour runtime. I wish that they would have just, focused on a few things and just trimmed down the time. It would have been a much better experience. The action set pieces are awesome. They are few and in between, but they're really, really cool. Again, I emphasize on that final boss fight. It's pretty cool. It's really, really well done. They push the idea of mechs to a different level, actually, and they pay respect to that final thing that Ultraman does, which is like this. It just doesn't happen for no reason, and when it happens for a very good purpose. So yeah, this is a very very good story if you love anime, if you're drawn into cute characters and cute moments, and if you just want to watch something that in a way makes you feel good, this actually works. But if you're looking for a deeper story, if you're looking for something different, if you're looking for a really super good animated movie, then this movie might not be for you. So basically that's it. If I was to give this out of 5, as I said, it's a 2.7 out of 5. It's enjoyable for what it is. And something else that I actually really liked is that if you've never seen Ultraman and you're going in for the first time, they kind of explain to you the world of Ultraman, how it works, the kaijus, and the Ultraman himself. So you kind of get an idea of how he works. But there are some things, there are some 1 or 2 things that are not explained, like for example his home, but generally they try to give you an idea of how this particular universe works. So anyway, so remember to always watch what you enjoy, and enjoy what you watch, and goodbye, adios.